Islam is at the center of immigration issues, but how do Europeans think about other immigrants from other countries and what their opinion of those immigrants is? Do they think that, for example, someone from Uganda, for example, should not come like you said, 8 out of 10 people said that no more Muslim immigrants. But is it that the religion that's the issue, or more of like a geographical area and how the culture is, and what do the European people think, or based on your experience, what is their reflection on it?
It's an important but very wide question. I mean, there is no one answer to it, but the one thing I would say is that it's very interesting that if you study the polls in recent years, the moments at which people feel confident enough to be against immigration in general, as it were, among other things, often comes when it's clear that the immigration is white immigration. So in Britain, once it was Polish people and other people in the EU who started to come in large numbers, people felt able to talk about the immigration in a way which they hadn't before, because there wasn't the perceived racial aspect to it. And I mean, the truth is that I think that it's very, very hard to generalize on it, but most people seem to be most concerned about the people who appear to have different values. I've never encountered any particular hostility to, for instance, Nigerian Christians in Britain who, you know, apart from anything else, are keeping the churches open. So it's definitely different, but my gosh, I mean, it's hard to tease it out of people because people are very reluctant to have any of that conversation.
If the immigrants were to assimilate to what is seen as European values, you know, maybe if they even didn't like hold on to their Islamic faith, but weren't as militant about it, like, and you know, were, you know, we're acted in the public similar to how a European Protestant or Catholic would the race still be an issue?
That's a very good question. Very good question. And hard to say. I tell you one issue which is striking is that the disappearance of racial politics in the UK in recent decades. Immigration used to be talked about in terms of race, and it almost never is these days. And I'm never sure if it's because it's become totally unacceptable or people mind about it less and less, but the polling all shows a consistent, that we have every year in Britain something called the British Social Attitude Survey. It shows consistently, you know, questions like, would you mind if your child married somebody of a different race? Over the years, it just endlessly smaller numbers of people care about that sort of thing. And I think all the evidence shows in the country like Britain that the racial aspect is disappearing as an issue, leading to this interesting question of how it's being overtaken then by the identity question, and specifically the religion question. But if I can say so, not to tread on current woes in this country, but it does interest me. I've been coming to this country for 20 years, as I said earlier, and I'm very struck by the way in which race re-enters the American discussion so vividly from almost every direction now, in a way that, for me, coming from where I'm from, is very, very shocking. Because, as I say, it is, I hope it continues, ever less of an issue. If somebody wrote a piece like the one in the New York Times 3 days ago, I don't know how many of you saw it, a piece headlined, should I allow my children to mix with white children? If you had a piece like that, I can't tell you the government would have fallen in Britain. The idea of that sort of rhetoric being normal is very, very unusual to me.